Hello and welcome to the second section of Tales from the Loop here on the Gauntlet Hangouts on Wednesday. Had an issue last week. Unfortunately, I had to bump that session, but here we are back. We have one player that may be joining us later, but we've got three, a quorum, or whatever that word is for that. And this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. This is an online gaming community. You can find more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. We have a Patreon that supports a zine. We have multiple podcasts. We have a blog. And of course, we have a massive calendar of online gaming. So we're in the Ohio city of Wayward. We have our crew of kids ranging from 12 to 14 years old. And they are in an 80s city that never was, an 80s town that never was. And last time they encountered some weirdness, essentially the first step of their mystery. And we're going to kind of frame up what that's going to look like once I have the characters introduce themselves again. I do want to remind everyone that we use the X card as our standard safety tool. And especially as we go along, if say something went past you the first time and you were like, okay, and later you're not, legit to X card something later. So that is on the table. So what I want to do then is walk through the characters, have people say who they are, what they're about, and then we'll frame up where we're at. So I'm going to work my way across the sheet today from left to right. So Peter, can I start with you and have you tell us about Owl?
Right, yes. So Owl is the Bookworm playbook, and he's basically your typical inquisitive 12-year-old, wants to know everything there is to know, cares far more about what goes on in the books that he reads than perhaps necessarily what goes on in the real world, but cares fiercely about the friends that he does have. And his dad runs sort of local bookstore, and well, he hasn't had great interactions with frogs.
That is true, but you were successful in removing the little circuit board, the implant on the frog itself. And what was the frog's name again? I have Frank. All right. And you've got your encyclopedia. We have your problem is that Weird Man is following you. Which we did a little bit with.
Yeah. Didn't miss that as much last week. No Weird Man following me. I was like, wow, a nice reprieve.
Yes. All right. Let's move on. Robert, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so I'm playing as Phineas Fig Chutney, playing the Hick playbook. He's kind of a sort of an outcast. His mom passed away, and his dad is kind of sort of getting really sick, maybe because of something with the loop itself, or just something to do with the reactor. So he's kind of dealing with that, as well as taking care of his two little sisters. And let's see, his problem is that his dad doesn't want to accept that he's sick. So it's kind of a secret to nobody, but he tries to hide it. And he's kind of really handy at taking things together, putting things back apart. He kind of helps out, at home and wherever.
And you have the two sisters, 6 and 7. And your dad actually just works retail.
Yeah.
And you kind of took over this farm out there, so you're a little ways out in the country. And does your dad, does he acknowledge any kind of thing with the illness, or is it something that you know, or has it been discussed at all in the house?
He doesn't like to discuss it. Like if you call him out on it, then he'll acknowledge it, but say, oh, it's not that bad. I'm saving up some money. Open enrollment should start soon, and then I can get some health insurance and maybe go see somebody about it.
Okay, that sounds good. And last but not least, the oldest member of our kids crew, Puckett. Could you please tell me about your character?
Hi, Puckett, he, him pronouns. I play Sarah Razor Jones. And Sarah is, excuse me, taken from the Rocker playbook. She is, well, basically, she's an only child. The only person around, the only adult really in her life is her mom, and her mom tends to work evenings. So Sarah barely sees her mom, maybe a little bit in the morning, goes to school, is on her own from pretty much then on. So she is somebody who is proud of making decisions, even bad ones. She has been in rough spots and feels like she can take on the world and can handle herself at 14. And she may be right. She has been right in the past. That does not necessarily mean she'll be right in the future.
And she's dealing with some questions about herself and what she wants to do with herself, right?
Usually, she wants to get. If I remember correctly, she wants to get out, but she also has a crush on Renee.
And we had a scene with your mom, and your mom kind of chasing away your present boyfriend. And of course, the big thing about the Nazis and the punk show. Okay.
Right.
Let me check in with everybody. Is everybody happy with the skills? Like, did anybody want to shift any points around after having done a session? Anything you want to change? That seems fine. So last time you were in your abandoned parks facility out in the woods, kind of relatively near the lake, off the beaten path, an area that's not particularly well traveled. And you've made this place kind of your own and camouflaged it. And you were there when you heard a sound thwack on the roof. And when you went up to check it, you found a very unusual frog with big cicada-like wings and more purple than you would expect on a domestic North American frog. And eventually, after some work, you were able to calm it down and bring it into your clubhouse. Kind of got it wrapped up. You named it Frank. People were trying to figure out what it was. It was unusual. And in the midst of that, you heard people coming. And in fact, one of you, I believe it was Renee, actually confronted these two people who seemed to be scanning for something, and had been approaching and kind of clearly triangulating location. You found a microchip attached to Frank, and after a false start, you were able to remove it, and I believe break it. And at that point, their signal outside went dead, and they stopped arguing with Renee, and they took off. And I believe that's what we ended on last time, was that, if I recall correctly.
Sounds right.
So now we can either take up from that point in that evening, or we can kind of take it as a given that you've either stashed Frank there, or someone's taken him home, and we can kind of do that next day at home scenes. Does anyone have a strong preference in either direction?
Quick question for you.
Sure, absolutely.
With the session that we missed, do we need to kind of fast forward a little bit to be able to get to the end of the story that you have to hit the story beats and whatnot?
No. I mean, the mystery is sketched. I tend to sketch things out so that they can be moved or compressed And I don't usually have a particularly great sense of exactly how long something's going to take. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. Who would or who would take Frank home, or where would you stash Frank?
Considering that they were going back to the clubhouse, it seems like, because if I remember correctly, they basically said when the signal went down, they said we'll come back later.
Yeah.
So leaving Frank there would not be an option. And as I recall, Sarah was the only one who felt strongly and positively about Frank. So
yeah, that's probably a good assessment.
I would say that Sarah would probably take it upon herself to try to squirrel Frank away at her mom's trailer.
Okay. And that for you does not present a challenge. You've certainly got we talked about like a milk crate or something that you have Frank in, and you can certainly get him home, and your mom won't notice. If she's in, that's not a thing she's going to pick up on.
The great side of absent parents.
Yes. So we're going to take up on that next day. It's a Friday. It's the last day of the school week. You've got this day. Let me ask you this, Owl. When you get up the next day, are you still nervous about what happened? Are you more buzzed and excited? Or is there a moment of like you get up and realize that it wasn't a dream kind of thing?
I think it's the last one, and I think that realization is because I go to check my hand where I was bitten.
Yeah, and it's a little puffy and red.
Okay, so that wasn't something I dreamt, or at the very least, it made sense enough. I think instinctually I'm just going to try and find if there's a first aid kit in my house. I just kind of want to see if I can like try and bandage this up at the very least myself.
I assume you have Neosporin and big Band-Aids.
For my 12-year-old self, that sounds like the deal.
So your mom is kind of works from the house while your dad goes out to the bookstore. So are you going to try and keep that wound hidden from them?
Right up until I get a bandage on it.
Okay.
Because my idea is that if I can hide it with the bandage, even if they see the bandage, they can ask what happened and I can write it off as something else and not, oh, yeah, you want to take a look at this big puffy red thing I got from a weird looking frog?
And you come downstairs and kind of get ready. And rather than your mom asking about the bandage, she says, boy, you had a lot of mud on your clothes from last night. Just looking in the hamper.
Yeah. The others and I were just kind of messing around and things got a little bit crazy.
Were you roughhousing?
Yes.
See, it's all well and good, but I'm the one who has to wash your jeans and your shirt and all of that. And so you need to be more careful in the future.
Okay, I'll try and be as clean as possible.
And your dad kind of looks and then kind of waits till your mom heads out. And he's like, hey, when you're done with school today, you should come by the store. I had a guy come in yesterday, had a whole set of like British edition Target paperbacks of the Doctor Who novels. And I bought those off of him and I tucked them back. So You get first pick on those.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Yes. I will absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I'll count on it.
Okay.
And you get ready to go to school.
Yeah. And now I'm buzzing excited because oh boy.
Fig, you get up and you kind of hear that racking cough of your dad. And you kind of hear him in the bathroom, and the sound of him kind of rummaging through the medicine cabinet. And he's in there for a while. And when he comes out, he's like a little like, oh, Phineas?
Yeah, Dad? What's up?
Oh,
You okay?
sorry, you startled me there. Yeah, fine. And he sounds good.
Did you, are you doing better? You sound pretty good.
Yeah. I just, when you wake up, well, you don't know, you're a kid. When you wake up and you got that phlegm buildup overnight and you got to cough it out in the sink.
Oh, sure. Just old people stuff.
Yeah, stuff.
Okay.
And he says, I'll drive you in if you get ready here quick and get the girls up.
Yeah, no problem. I'll go get Jessica and Emily and get them all dressed.
Okay. And he's surprisingly energetic. Like when you come down, he's thrown some bread into the toaster. He's made some toast. He's thrown a couple eggs, into a pan. Done some quick scrambled eggs and toast for you. He's like, "You got big plans for the weekend?"
I might meet with the other kids, and we might go play in the woods or something. There's not a whole lot to do really, but just go hang out.
He says, "You know what I'd like to do at some point is we got that back acreage back there, and I know that there's some brush and stuff. I'd like to maybe at one of these weekends, you and me, get out there and see what we have to clear from out back there."
Yeah, that don't sound too bad. We go out there and clear some room and do some mudding or something.
Yeah. It's just we haven't really used that, and it's getting on summer, and once that rolls around, you probably have stuff to do, but we want to at least do some work around here. Maybe get it a little bit better.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Maybe we could make it real cool, and I could probably invite some of the other kids over and probably have some fun back there.
Sure. I can get the grill out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I says, "Okay, well, let me drive you in. I'm doing a shift and a half, so I won't be back till after 7 tonight. So I'm going to need you to keep an eye on the girls."
Oh, yeah, that's no problem. I'm used to that.
All right. And he will pull you together and get the girls to the bus stop and drive you into town. Certainly in better spirits and better shape than he was yesterday. Sarah, you're probably awoken by that sort of weird, almost metallic buzzing sound coming from Frank's box.
I think not surprise me. In fact, since I'm supposed to be thinking of the character, Sarah has a hiding spot under the trailer. There's like a lot of trailers have that kind of cheap wooden lattice around the bottom to kind of conceal the underneath. And in a secluded part of the trailer where nobody really goes, nobody really sees, she's pulled it away a little bit so that she's got a hiding spot. She can crawl under there if she needs to. She can hide stuff in there if she needs to.
Yeah, not near the septic or the propane, all that kind of like space that nobody looks at.
Exactly. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it's underneath her bedroom. So, yeah, she would be woken up by it. It'd be close enough where she could hear it. She could hop out the window if she needed to.
You probably have a couple of fillings, and you kind of feel it in your fillings.
Oh, that feels like the time that I heard that weird radio signal in my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was hearing, I don't even know, something like my mom sang along to, probably.
You get under there, and you will kind of pull the box out, and you will see Frank. And Frank, the wings are kind of doing this just low, almost imperceptible vibratory hum. But you also notice that Frank has turned a vibrant shade of blue.
Hello, buddy. Weren't you purple yesterday? I mean, you're a frog, so I'm not expecting you to answer, but
And it
are you a chameleon?
looks up at you, kind of looks up with that sort of, looks a little lethargic and kind of mouth maybe open a little bit, like maybe it's hungry.
I was just thinking that you probably need a little bit of food. You like SpaghettiOs? Yeah, I got a can of SpaghettiOs here with the meatballs and everything. It's the good ones. So you want to try this, or do you want some Chef Boyardee?
Frank does not respond, but merely continues to stare on.
I put some SpaghettiOs and a meatball in front of him to see what he does. I'm assuming Frank is a him.
We're going to go with that. You will see Frank kind of look at it and kind of moves forward, and the tongue kind of rolls out and runs over like a finger, kind of moving through, kind of pushing things around. And then it will come to the meatball, and the tongue will spear one of the little meatballs and back up into its mouth.
All right. So you're not so much for the pasta or the sauce, but you are about the meatballs. All right. I'm going to pour the rest of the can out for him.
Okay.
Let him eat the meatballs out of it.
Yes,
Sneak
he does.
back to the kitchen, see if I can find anything else that's just straight up meat.
What do you suppose you would have in this household that is straight up meat?
I am guessing the closest things we're going to have in the household to straight up meat are a package of Oscar Mayer bologna that's been open for I don't know how long.
Yeah, where the top one has kind of gotten a little crusty on the edge.
Yeah. It's been open and in the refrigerator long enough that I would not feel okay eating it. We probably have some canned soup or Chef Boyardee or like
the bologna seems certainly the most substantial of the things.
Yeah. I'm going to grab the bologna and I'm going to head back outside and see if Frank has eaten the rest of the meatballs.
If Frank has certainly consumed all of the meatballs that were in that and then has stepped away from the dish.
Okay. So I'm going to take out the slice, the slightly crusty slice of bologna and kind of roll it up and maybe wad it into a little bit of a ball and kind of push it in Frank's general direction.
And he will come over and kind of stare at it, and the tongue kind of comes out, kind of touches it, and then...
All right. I guess you like bologna too. So, all right. So I'm going to feed Frank the rest of the pack.
Frank eats the rest of the pack. All of it. He seems quiescent after that, but he definitely eats the whole thing.
Can I tell whether he still seems hungry? I mean, I realize that my knowledge of grafted, bioengineered mutant chameleon frogs that fly is probably a little on the limited side.
I think what it'll be is maybe at the sense of the last piece of bologna is certainly a little slower. Like you think it eats it because it's in front of it.
Okay. Well, that at least lets me know that Frank is, for the moment, in the closest thing to a secure place that I can come up with, and has been fed. I'm going to put a little bowl of water under there. Well, I shouldn't say little. I'm going to put a bowl of water under there.
Okay.
Just in
Absolutely.
case, Frank needs to. And did we conclude last time whether Frank was more of an amphibian or is it a frog or toad?
I don't think that was established. I think it was sort of indeterminate.
Huh, great. So I don't know if he needs to sit in water. Well, the last thing I want to do is put him in the tub with water because my mom will probably try to shower before she goes to work.
Yep.
I mean, I could pull it off while I'm at school, but she's leaving for work about the time I get home. So I think Frank's going to have to just stay in this box for the time being, considering that he doesn't seem too much worse for wear for being under the trailer all night.
That seems fair.
So, bowl of water it is. And I kind of tamp that, the grating, the wooden lattice back down, try to secure it as much as I can, and put a blanket over the box, see if that muffles any of the sound so that it doesn't kind of get too out of control again, and head off to school.
Excellent. So at what point during the day do the three of you meet up to talk about this? Is it at lunch? Is it immediately after school? Owl, how interested are you in talking over what happened with the others?
I mean, it's a combination. Well, I think I want to talk it over with the others pretty quickly, and also like in my mind, after school is when I go to my dad's bookstore. So like I want to talk about this soon so that I don't get sidetracked, and also because I'm very tempted to look under my Band-Aid, despite I shouldn't, but I really want to.
Fair enough. So let's say lunch, that the three of you can meet. Let me ask you this: is it pretty public that you four are friends, or is there some like trying to keep it a little quiet? Sarah?
I don't think Sarah would care.
Okay, I think that's fair enough.
I mean, that would require a level of effort that she just does not have.
And Fig, you don't care, right?
Yeah, I think Fig cares for the exact opposite reason. Like, it's just cool to have friends, and he really likes hanging out with Al, and he really likes hanging out with Sarah, and Renee's okay, but it's just cool having friends.
So the three of you can talk about what went on and what you plan to do.
Real quick, I mean, just because I wasn't actually physically present last time.
Sure.
Are we saying that Fig was there and he would have knowledge of everything that happened and everything?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So, yeah, I think, come lunchtime, I just kind of like almost waddle over to you guys and just like, I'm like half paying attention while I'm talking and half like trying to get the Band-Aid, because I think when I put it on, I kind of wrapped it over itself, so now it's harder to get off, and I'm like, gone is the time of just me trying to like tentatively pull it off, and I'm just like, I want to know why is this, what does this look like? And so I think I just kind of sit down and have my lunchbox next to me, and I'm just like, so how's Frank?
He was purple yesterday, right?
Yep, I remember that pretty clearly. Yeah, he was definitely purple.
Because he's blue today.
Okay, just quick clarification. You mean like physically blue, not like suddenly feeling sad for a frog.
Oh, maybe that. I don't know. I'm not a frog expert, but
Neither am I.
I mean, his color is blue. Like it was purple, and now it's blue. And we're not talking like kind of purpley blue. We're talking blue, like really blue.
Well, that's
Oh.
weird. I mean, I ain't no frog expert either, but I've been going through all these classes lately where they're talking about, changing bodies and whatnot. The frogs, do they go through like puberty? I mean, maybe that's it.
I did some research yesterday when we were looking at it, and as far as I know, there's nothing about frog puberty that would indicate wings or completely abnormal colors or really having a nasty bite, and I think that's when I get the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, as much as anything, because you've been playing with it and pulling at the Band-Aid, and that has irritated it, it looks worse.
Oh. You guys don't think it looks that bad, right? And I kind of show them my thumb.
Well, I mean, I suppose I've seen worse.
When what?
I saw a guy get stabbed at a show, and that looks bad. That's not good. That's very bad. That's not right. Your hand shouldn't look like that, Al.
Okay, great. Okay, so any ideas of anyone we should like talk to about this? Because I feel like if I start talking, no, I'm saying if I start talking about it with anyone, I might just spill the whole story, and I'm not sure I want to go into the part about the weird color changing flying frog.
Say you got bit by a stray cat, I guess.
Okay.
It ran off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that could be sort of realistic. Maybe you got like frog rabies or something. Like,
yeah. No,
frog rabies?
I don't.
Freebies, yes.
Oh, well, that's.
Is that even a thing?
It might be. Like, I didn't see it in the encyclopedia, but like there are multiple encyclopedias.
Could go see the school nurse. Like,
yeah. That's actually, I had a similar thought. Just because, I mean, they won't ask too many questions, right? I hope.
Just tell them there was a cat and it was kind of wandered up to you and you looked at it and it was cute and you leaned over to pet it and it bit you and ran off. Just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So ignoring my hand for a moment, what do you guys think about yesterday? Like what are we supposed to do about Frank?
Well, he's fed and he's in the safest place I can get him.
Well, that's good. I didn't know.
A weird buzzing noise, and it sets off the fillings in my teeth.
Oh.
So
well,
it's like a weird frequency almost.
Well, at least I'm glad that you fed him. What did
frog
you feed him?
Need? I mean, do we even know that he's a frog?
I don't honestly know.
Part frog.
Well, yeah, but there's too many. I think they're called variables. There's too many different things going on with it. I just kind of call it a frog because that seems to be the main thing. What did you feed him?
SpaghettiOs and some bologna.
Damn, gave him a feast.
Okay. I'm not sure.
He didn't like the pasta part. He just wanted the meat. He ate the meatballs, and I figured he might want more meat, and then he ate the bologna. So
I might have to do some more research. I just didn't know that there were frogs that ate meat like that. Normally, I think of them eating flies.
well, it's a little bit bigger than a frog that would eat a fly and be happy with that for food.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet more frogs probably eat bologna if they could get their hands on it too. So it makes sense.
Oh, yeah, true. So, what do we do about him? I mean, I know he can change colors and stuff, and I know there might be people looking for him. I mean, they're gonna have a much harder time now, but
I want to get him out of here because, I mean, they're probably just going to keep looking for him.
yeah.
You know, if we can get him to like a river or something like that, maybe he can get away and be safe.
I mean, we got some probably some space out on the farm, but I don't know how secure he'd be. You know, he might just roam, and they might track him down there. I don't know.
Yeah, and also I don't know. I mean, if he was created, like cobbled together or something, I don't know if it's a good idea to have him just out in the wild. Like, I don't know.
I mean, we can't keep him. That's not right.
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm not saying we should. I really actually highly advise against that. But you know what? I think I'm just going to go to the school nurse now, because that might help me think straight later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want us to go with you, or?
You know, if you want, that's fine. If you don't, that's cool too. I'm gonna just kind of deal with that so that like, I get an appetite back, maybe at the very least. You know, I've just got this lunch sitting here and I haven't touched it yet. So
I'll tell you what, why don't I go with you just in case? Like, you know, I can always step in if you don't feel like you can tell her the story.
Yeah, just make sure he ain't go talking about no wings.
Turn the cat into a flying cat.
I wasn't gonna talk about the. Okay, maybe I probably would have. Yeah,
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We like you. You're not used to lying to adults.
So the two of you are going to head out and head down to the school nurse's office, right?
I think so.
Okay. So what do you do with the rest of your time here at lunch, Fig?
I guess I'm probably eating mostly alone and just kind of probably eavesdropping a lot, you know, listening to what the cool kids are talking about, you know, so I can, you know, because of course I want to be into whatever the cool kids are into. So if I can get an idea of what they're talking about, maybe I can be one of the cool kids someday.
That certainly seems like a reasonable thing. They're probably talking about stuff they've seen, you know, on TV. You know, one of them, you know, got the new SNES console, and you know, that costs a lot. You know, maybe another one of them talks about the fact that their sister took them to one of the midnight movies at the mall, and they saw Rocky Horror, and they didn't get it, but everybody seemed to like it, and it seemed cool because it was at the mall and it was at midnight. They didn't get home till 2 a.m. And sort of as you're kind of listening in on that, you will see, kind of looking out, you're on like the ground floor cafeteria, see outside, you see the librarian, Mary, You know who she is, recognize her. The thing that strikes you is you see that she is talking to one of those two guys that you saw in the woods last night. Like you kind of peeked out while Renee was dealing with them. And it was a kind of a tall guy and a short guy. And Mary is talking to the tall guy.
Can I get maybe a little bit closer to try to eavesdrop on their conversation?
Sure. Let's have you roll sneak.
Okay, and because I missed the actual rolling part last time, what am I rolling for that?
So we're going to drop the roll for your party into this here. So what you roll generally is if you are doing a particular skill, each skill has a stat that's associated with it. So sneak is associated with body. And then you have a body of 4. You have a sneak of 0. So that's 4 total. Means you're rolling 4d6. And you are looking to just get 1 6 on those dice. That's all you need. Now, after that, I can tell you if you don't make it, what kind of options you have.
Okay, yeah, no 6s.
Got no 6s. Now you've got 2 choices here. It's because the third one, which would be using your pride, I don't think your pride really applies here. But the 2 options that you have is you can spend a point of luck, and you can reroll any dice that didn't come up a 6, or you can mark a condition: sleepless, thirsty, hungry, or cold, and also re-roll all the dice. The conditions, each one that you mark, gives you a cumulative -1 to future rolls.
I'll go ahead and spend a luck.
Okay. Absolutely.
And I got a 6.
Got a 6. So you will get, kind of out the side door and kind of get by the bushes, and the guy's says, I don't know who let them out. So just be real careful. I don't think it was Jeffrey, but because this happened later than that. Yeah, keep an eye out if you hear anything about anything strange happening, Mary. Give us a heads up. These things are dangerous. She goes, wait, dangerous how? And she goes, they're smart. Some of them are really smart. I'm a little afraid of what's going to happen if we don't catch them. She's like, okay, I'll keep an eye out. She goes, go talk to the kids, see if they saw anything weird. We saw some kids out in the woods yesterday. There's one little girl with an art pad, and I think it was a girl. Talk to them, see if anyone's heard anything weird. Okay? She's like, okay, I will. And they head their separate ways. And of course, you know who Jeffrey is, Fig. You know that's the school janitor who's been missing for a few days.
Yeah, I think after hearing that, I'd probably try to book it toward the school nurse, try to catch up with them to give them a heads up that people might be asking questions. And even if you don't want to talk about wings, somebody might ask about wings, and who knows what's going to happen then.
Okay. So let's cut to Owl and Razor heading down to the school nurse's office. It's a small little room. We got a little table, got the little classic side thing with cotton swabs and thermometers and all of that. And the school nurse is there with the little hat and little sweater over her shoulders. And so this is Nurse Benedict. And she says, well, little Mr. Brock, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, I mean, kind of. I have this, and I'm just gonna like stick out my thumb.
Ooh. And she's like, come over here. And she turns to you and says, do you need something, Miss Jones?
I just wanted to make sure he got here okay. You know, he said he was kind of feeling a little, you know, after the bite.
Well, that's very nice of you. Why don't you go ahead and sit down while I get this cleaned up?
Sure.
And she will take you over, puts a little light, and she gets out the essentially the disinfectant antiseptic and pulls that out, and she will clean the wound, and it stings like the dickens as she does that. That kind of hot burning that goes on. Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot hide the fact that I am experiencing incredible pain.
Yeah, you are trying to keep down the tears, and she will say, "So what happened?"
And I'm just gonna like, it was it was a cat.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same one that got Tammy Ferraro.
Oh, what happened to Tammy Ferraro?
Well, she came in this morning. She said that when she was riding into school, well, it was pretty clearly a cat, but she said she couldn't see the cat. But she had a bunch of scratches on her legs. She heard it sounded like a cat, and she said she couldn't see it. But I think she was just upset. Yeah, I actually cleaned that up, and I actually sent her in to Dr. Paulson because she got really scratched quite badly, and they got a little redness to them, a little bit like this.
Am I gonna have to see Dr. Paulson?
She had a bunch of scratches. I think this should be fine. I've got it cleaned. We should be good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. I guess there's a crazy cat going around.
And Sarah, you're kind of sitting there watching, listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you will turn your head, and you will see through the windows that are in the door. You see that Fig is at the nurse's office door.
Mm-hmm. Is he waving or anything?
Fig?
Yeah, I think I'd be trying to get her attention.
Doing that thing.
Yeah,
sure.
What do you do?
I'm gonna hold up a finger like, wait a minute, just give me a second. Type that. You know that little. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I think I'll just be like loitering outside the nurse's office, trying to act like I'm not suspicious at all. But I'm obviously not supposed to be there.
And the nurse Benedict will finish up with you, Owl, and we'll go and get you a Dum Dum lollipop. And not only that, it's one of the mystery flavor ones. And we'll hand that to you and say, all right, there you go.
Oh, thank you. And I'm just gonna like scurry out of there.
Okay. And the two of you can come out to the hall and meet up with Fig.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Well, I saw those two guys. They were outside talking to the librarian.
One of the guys.
Here.
Oh yeah, one of the guys. Yeah. Like here. And he was talking probably about them. I guess the frogs.
Did you hear any of what they were saying?
Well, only a little bit. He said they're kind of dangerous and they might be really smart.
Oh, that's not good. I couldn't think of anything positive.
Good. I mean, if we set Frank loose, he's got a better chance of surviving now. I mean, we know that he's smart.
Yeah, but how many other things have now a less chance of surviving if we let him out? Like, that sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, he was talking to the librarian and, told her to ask around, so she might be, if she starts asking about some crazy frog, no talk about no crazy frog.
Okay. Well, I told the nurse that it was a cat, and surprisingly, she believed me. So I might have a career going forward as a criminal.
Well, and she also said that there was another cat that attacked somebody else, and that Tammy, what's her name? She had to go to the doctor.
Yeah, Tammy Ferraro.
Yeah, Ferraro.
Hmm.
I don't know. You know what? She makes fun of me, so I just I'm not even going to say what I call her.
Oh, okay.
Well, speaking of other people, the guy out there, he did kind of mention Jeffrey.
Oh.
So I don't know what that means, but maybe Jeffrey had to go see a doctor too.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but you'd think they'd know that where Jeffrey was if he went to the doctor.
Well, I mean, whatever this is, we should also probably clue in Renee so that he hasn't accidentally talked about anything either.
Let me cut on that note to rope Renee into the situation here. Thank you, Peter. Renee, you got home after that weirdness at the place last night. Sarah took Frank in the little box back to her place to keep it safe. Why is it that you end up being late to school the next day? So you might be muted, or at least I can't hear you. There you go.
How about now?
There we go.
There I am. Okay. Renee stayed up way too late drawing pictures of the frog and just like different like creature combinations. Like, just was way too intrigued by Frank. So it kind of stayed up a little bit too late and ended up oversleeping.
So you oversleep. You kind of pretend you're a little sick. Your dad is in the last day. He's of course mad, but he has other things to do. And your mom says, "Well, why don't you sleep in a little bit, and if you feel better, I'll take you into school. Okay? Otherwise, you can just rest."
Okay, thanks, Mom.
And probably close to noon, you probably felt like, "Oh, you probably should talk to your friends."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So about that time, yeah, I guess I can go in for the end of the day.
And this seems to relieve your mom. Like she's happy that she's not going to have to tell your dad that you stayed all the day home from all the day from school. And so your mom pulls up, and you're just about to get out of. What kind of car does your mom drive? Is it like a standard 2-door, 4-door minivan?
It's got to be a beige station wagon because everyone I knew in the 80s had one of those.
Oh yeah, beige station wagon, like a Dodge. And as you kind of are about to get out, you see one of those two people who were in the woods last night. There was a tall guy and a short guy. And you see that tall guy like walking off from the school grounds. And you see him head over to this, looks like it's maybe a Saab, like a Swedish car. And he gets in. What do you do?
I think my first thing would be to find a razor.
Okay, so kind of hop out and kind of run into the school, and so even as Brock Fig, you guys are saying you need to get a hold of Renee. You'll hear the slamming of the door and sort of the and see Renee kind of charging down the hall. And you'll
That's
see your three
unusual.
friends outside the school nurse's office.
Oh, okay. Have you guys seen Razor? Is Frank? Does she still have Frank?
Yes, I still have Frank. He's under the trailer. He's in
The guy from the woods is outside.
That's what Fig was just telling us.
We were all looped in at about the same time that things got loopy.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No. Please.
Did you see anything? Did you hear anything?
They were getting into some fancy car.
Huh. Would you recognize it again if you saw it?
Probably, yeah.
That's good. If we know what they're driving, then we know. If we see that car, we know they're around. That helps.
It was one of those kind of like swoopy backs, so easy to tell.
Well, like a Porsche?
Not quite that much, but yeah.
Huh. Well, just so you know, Owl here just got patched up by the school nurse because his bite looks disgusting.
Yeah.
Frank eats meat and is blue now. He was purple this morning, yesterday. He's blue now. So that happened. He likes meatballs and bologna.
Frank does?
Frank does, yeah. That's what he ate when I fed him this morning.
That's probably why he's blue.
No, he was blue before I fed him. So it's I probably need to get some more meat for him like that before I go home. So if you guys,
I overheard that guy saying that Frank might be smart. So that'd be a smart frog to me because bologna's good eating food.
I mean, and Frank knew enough to keep quiet, and he's hanging out with us. So, obviously, he's like the smartest frog ever because we're awesome. I mean,
of course.
Like, who wouldn't want to hang out with us? So, I mean, so that's kind of. Is that everything?
Is what everything?
I mean, is that everything that we know right now? I mean, Owl, you didn't find anything else out?
No, I mean, I haven't really done a lot of research. I just tried to go to bed last night and forget it ever happened, and woke up this morning and surprised it happened.
Oh, and if anybody asks, it was a cat that bit him.
A cat?
Yeah. That there is apparently
a cat, and it bit him.
And there is apparently a cat going around to accidentally corroborate. I think I'm using that word correctly. That story.
That, or maybe maybe weirder creatures got out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe so. We've got a frog like with wings. I mean, maybe they tried to like cross a raccoon and a dragonfly or something like that.
Yeah, maybe some kind of smart cat biting Tammy. If I was a smart cat, I'd probably bite Tammy too.
Like a Terminator cat or something, maybe? This is weird.
We have like 4 more years before that movie comes out.
This is 87.
Yeah, I think Terminator 1 has come out, right?
I think it came out in 84.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the year of RoboCop, I believe, is this year. So, I assume that the 4 of you are going to go back to class for the afternoon.
I mean, I kind of want to know more about what's going on with that dude showing up at school, but I don't have an in with the librarian. I mean, I walk into a library, she's probably going to figure that I'm there to steal something. So, Al, could you maybe like invent a special project that you need help researching and seeing if maybe you can find anything out?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
I mean, Fig, do you know any way that we can like try to find out more about that car?
Oh, yeah, I don't know too much about no fancy cars, but well, later on tonight maybe. My dad's got some of them car magazines. Maybe I can check on.
Do you know any way we can find out like who owns a car or something like that? I mean, I don't know anything about cars.
So let me talk mechanically just for a moment about what that kind of thing would be. So we know in terms of our looking into things, comprehend is our research skill. Empathize is our read people skill. Investigate is sort of our crime scene skill. But the other skill that's useful if you need to get something or find something out, like to be able to trace a license plate or something, that is contact. That's the I know somebody who can find that info out, or I know somebody who can do that thing for me kind of skill. So that's what that's about.
Well, Renee's the only one of us who has a point in contact.
I might know somebody that could help.
Tell me how it is that you might know someone. Is it through the comic book shop? Is it through a relative?
I like through the comic book shop. There's somebody I know. There is one of the younger police officers there is a frequent comic shop guy, and he's looked through my sketchbook and we've talked a few times, and he's really into comics and stuff. So I've developed a pretty good rapport with him.
So you call up Officer, trying to maybe after school, try and talk to Officer Lenny and see if you can get something from him.
Yeah. I'll say like, hey, my friend's bike got hit by a car.
Oh,
do you know where we can find out anything about this?
Okay, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you on that. I want to resolve Owl, and then we'll come to you, and then we'll see what Fig and Razor are doing. And one of the assumptions I always make with investigations is any information that somebody has rolls into the next person. Unless you are deliberately holding it back, we always assume that the PCs are sharing the information just to cut through all of the blahs that people have to do. So, Owl, they've sent you off to go and try and squeeze information out of Mary the librarian.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what that looks like.
I mean, it's funny in the sense that normally, like, the library is kind of like a second home, or like tied for a second home with my dad's bookstore because there's so many books. But so I feel really conflicted, like trying to go there with an ulterior motive. And so, like, I think, when I go over there, I think there's a moment where I kind of like hesitate, and then like I just kind of walk through the door and like try and close it quietly behind me because I don't want to be too loud in the library.
Hello, Thomas, says Mary.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm better. I actually came from the nurse, and
what happened?
There was a cat that ended up. Yeah, it ended up. I don't know. It was a stray or something. I think it ended up. It bit me.
Really? Where did that happen?
Just on some of the other kids and I hang out around, and that's kind of where we end up.
And she does kind of try and press you to get you to give her a specific address or a relative location, like a park or a range or a road.
It like what I'm remembering is more the incident itself and like how I was bit, and that was bad, and then I remember pain, and then I went home. Like a cat. I think it was a tabby. I don't know. I'm not usually into cats, so I haven't done a lot of research on what kind of cat it was. So it had the usual 4 paws and a tail and cat ears and cat eyes and cat whiskers, and
she seems a little frustrated by your inattention to detail. But you have engaged her in conversation. Like, she clearly wants to get information out of you. So you do have that opportunity to kind of talk with her and try and get info from her.
Yeah, I want to try and do that. And especially I want to try and do that mechanically, because...
Let's go with empathize. So roll that.
Okay, so that's 6 dice.
Yeah, you're good at this.
Yeah, mind 5, empathize 1. So, okay, let's do... So that's okay, and then I got 2 6s.
2 6s. So I'm going to let you have 2 questions. Now the book here has sort of more the kind of limited questions, but I'm going to let you kind of give me a better sense of what is it that you want to find out from her that she might be willing or to tell you or spill inadvertently.
I guess the first thing I want to know is really inadvertently, I guess, because I don't know how I'm going to get it out of her on purpose, is what kind of creature these 2 men are looking for, because maybe it's Frank. Maybe there are other things out there, because after what the nurse said about Tammy, I'm wondering if there are similar creatures that are running around, in which case...
That's a really good question. I think what you'll get in the course of the conversation is she kind of keeps asking about, do you see anything else besides a cat? Do you see da-da-da? And you get the sense that clearly there are a couple of different things that are out there that she's fishing to try and find out if you've seen. Like, it's clearly not just this cat thing. There's clearly some other stuff.
Okay.
She might not have the greatest exact sense of what's going on, but she knows that there are multiple different creatures that have gotten out.
Okay.
And you got another question.
Does she have any idea where the 2 men have already looked?
She knows that they've been going around town. Like she's clearly has a sense that they've been going around. They probably have more of those tracker devices, but maybe they haven't been as successful as they hope to be about that.
Okay.
But she does like mention the woods, because that was mentioned to her.
Right.
Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially given who I'm talking to. Like, out of character, I was just trying to, like, if there was some place they'd already looked, by being able to bring that up later, it would be like, oh, well, maybe I'm able to cover my tracks a tiny bit better. But I think given what she knows and what I'm trying to get out of her, this is absolutely on point.
So yeah, you'll be able to pull that info out from her. Let me cut to Renee. Renee, after school, you head over to the comic shop. What's the name of the comic shop?
Dungeon Denizens.
Dungeon Denizens. I assume they also sell game stuff.
Yeah.
So Dungeon Denizens, you head over there. You get there. Lenny's there. He's standing talking to the shop owner at the counter. Lenny's a pretty good guy, young, probably one of the few black officers on the force, and just a general all around nice guy. He is especially thinks it's cool that you're an artist, because he has a lot of respect for comic book artists and stuff, and he'll say, "My man Boyd, how are you?"
I'm just doing great. How's that super police officer story you were working on?
I got my buddy. He's doing some sketches on it, but he's slow. But as soon as I get some pages, I'm going to bring him in. I talked to my buddy. He works over at Instaprints, and he says that he can run me, maybe a couple of copies after hours. So it'll be good. It'll be good. We got to get you drawing some stuff.
Yeah, I'm not so good at the panel to panel stuff just yet. I'm still working on it.
That's where the money is. You're not telling me that John Byrne isn't rolling in it, man. Him, Frank Miller. I mean, they're at the top of their game. I'm sure they like got man.
Let's see, 87. Has Todd McFarlane started drawing?
Not quite into that, but getting closer. In fact, I think that's the early 90s. So he'll say, and he'll chat until you kind of push on the topic.
So a friend of mine, some guy accidentally backed over his tire and drove off. If I had any, is there a way you could tell me if there was any of these, those, I think it was a Saab car. Are there any of those in town that you've seen, or is there any way you can know that?
Do you have a license plate number?
No. I know it was blue.
Let's have you roll contact here to see how far he's willing to go to help you.
Okay. I'm just gonna delete one die and re-roll the rest. I get 3 6s.
3 6s?
Yep.
He does the thing where he sits you down and he goes, "Now, did you see the car at all?"
Yeah.
Then I want you to take a chance, and he kind of walks you through to get you to remember and actually to give him okay, when you looked at the plate, if you saw the plate, what state was you registered to? And then I want you to think, and can you give me the first letter of it? And he spent some time helping walk you through that till he gets some info. And then he turns to the owner and he says, "Can I use your phone?" And the owner's been listening to this kind of intently, very excited about this cop stuff. And Lenny calls up and he says, that car is registered to a Lorna Spearing.
Lorna Spearing.
He goes, "Oh wow, that's that woman that they had escort off the premises."
A crazy lady?
She worked for Zabo Labs, and I think this would be what, about 3-4 months ago. Like they fired her, and like a couple of people that worked with her, and the scene turned ugly. Like she tried to get back into her lab, and there was this big blow up, and they called us, and they didn't press charges, but they had to pull her and a couple of her staff people out and banned them from the premises and all that stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds really neat.
Well, not neat. Doesn't surprise me that she'd be the kind of person who would back over a kid's bike and not pay any attention to it.
Do you have like an address or anything so that we can, I don't know, talk to her, see if she can pay for the tire wheel or something?
Now that I can't let you do, but I tell you what, if I have the chance, I will go by. I got the address. I'll go by her house and check on it and see what I can find out.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see he's been writing notes on a pad of paper, and you'll see he kind of rips the top page off the pad and folds it up, and he goes, "Well, I will talk with you later, Renee."
And if you ever have a chance, there's this new series out, Watchmen, that's really cool. You should give that one a look.
Okay. Is that Alan Moore? Right? Guy who's doing Swamp Thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that Swamp Thing. That's a little creepy, man. And he will take off.
Okay.
Tell me, Fig or Razor, one of you, what are you doing either later on in the afternoon at school or immediately after school? Let's start with you, Fig.
Yeah, I think, immediately after school, I'd probably want to head home because I need to watch my sisters.
Now, I have a question for you. Are there people that you can call to come and watch your sisters if you need to do something else?
I think there's probably a kind of nearby neighbor. Neighbor in the sense as they live near us, but, it's still a little way, it's a little drive to get there. We're out in the farmland.
So does this rise to the level of you wanting to call in that chip or no?
I think it's definitely getting there. I think I would probably go for that, especially, I figure my dad's working a shift, an extra long shift, so maybe I can get by without him even finding out.
Sure. So you call up Mrs. Iwasaka, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll go down and pick them up, and they can come stay here until you give me a call, and I can bring them on back. It's not a problem."
All right, thank you, ma'am. I'm sorry to always be asking you to do this stuff for us, but you're a real lifesaver.
She says, "It's okay. The barn cat had kittens, so I'm sure that they will enjoy themselves."
Oh yeah, they love those little cats. That sounds good.
Yeah. And yeah, she'll give you the free and clear. So what do you want to do with your newfound freedom?
I think I would probably want to try to meet up. I guess probably with Al and find out what he's learned.
Okay.
But also, I know he mentioned something about going to his dad's bookstore, and so maybe trying to figure out if he's still planning to do that or what the plan is.
So Owl, you're like, okay, well, there's all this interesting stuff, but my dad has those books for me. Are you torn at the end of the day, Owl?
Sorry?
Are you torn at the end of the day? Do you go to the bookstore or do
I mean, I think I'm kind of Yeah, I'm at least gonna make an appearance at the bookstore so that I don't let my dad down. But I'm also gonna I'm very now I've got this information and I'm just warn my friends, hang out with my dad, warn out. It all jumbles together.
So let's say that you and Fig actually can cross paths with you as you're going to the bookstore.
I'm okay with that.
Fig, you can catch up with Owl.
Yeah, I'll fill him in on everything. So, yeah, I don't really know what they've seen, but there might be a few things out there, and not just Frank.
Well, is it not just Frank or not just frogs? Are there other frogs or are there not other Franks, but maybe other frogs?
I don't know. I was under extreme duress.
Well,
it might be both. It might be both. It might be more frogs. It might be more Franks. It might be more not Franks or frogs.
Sheesh, this whole thing's getting pretty confusing.
Maybe there are some dogs named Frank. Okay. Yeah. It really. Soonest chance we get, we should probably let the others know. I was actually heading to my dad's store. I don't know if you wanted to come with or
Yeah, I can tag along. I've been there a couple times with you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Fig, what do you read? What's your reading material of choice?
Probably just magazines. Just whatever magazines are available at the time. Just looking through, not really reading the articles much, reading the little blurbs and looking at the pictures and.
Okay. Like Field and Stream, or
Yeah, Field and Stream, and maybe looking at some of the car magazines because my dad looks at those. So maybe I might glean something I can talk to him about.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to cut from you two, talking, go to the bookstore, that sort of thing. To Sarah, what are you doing immediately after school?
Well, everybody's run off to get information.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the smart thing for me to do would be to go check on Frank again, see what Frank's up to, see if everything's okay, Frank's still there, etc. But at the same time, I also want to make sure that I'm not drawing too much attention to my secret stash area, my little hidey hole.
Sure.
I don't want the neighbors noticing too much about me going under there all the time and thinking, hey, there's something under there. That Jones kid, if anybody comes by asking questions.
She's got a leather jacket, she might have a stash.
Yeah, who knows what she's got under there? She might be sacrificing babies to Satan or something. This is that time.
This is the time for the satanic panic here in the Midwest, certainly. So yeah, let's have you roll a sneak.
Alrighty, and that's body, so I get 6 dice.
Yeah, look at that.
Two 6s.
You are fine. It's after school, not a lot of people around. You're careful to watch. See a few of the neighbors that are afternoon people, kind of evade their sight, and you'll get that lattice moved, and you will go in there, and you will go to check on Frank, who is about 15-20% larger than he was this morning.
Huh. You're my big boy now, aren't you? Look at you growing. You bet you really liked that meat, didn't you?
You notice that the cicada wing that was kind of bent seems to kind of started to settle back into place.
Any color changes, anything like that?
Nope, still that deep blue.
Okay. I just wanted to come check on you, make sure you're okay. I'm going to go see if I can get some more meat for you. Seems to like that bologna. So,
Do you raid your fridge or do you go to the nearby Quickie Mart?
I think the fridge is empty.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a lot in the cupboards and there wasn't a whole lot in the fridge. Like, I was looking in there this morning. The bologna was pretty much it. And I don't think Patricia has actually gone to the grocery store because, she usually works swing shift at the diner.
Yeah, and most often she brings back stuff from work.
If she remembers. And a lot of times it's just like, here's some, liver that we didn't cook up that we cooked up at the end of the shift because it was going to go bad if we didn't. So, here's your dinner. You get liver. So the kind of stuff that old people would eat on Blue Plate Special, not the sort of thing that a 14-year-old girl is going to look at and say, I've been waiting for this all day.
Yeah. So where are you going to get meat?
Let's see if I can go 5-finger discount some of it at the local grocery store.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have any money. So, this is kind of how I have to do things.
Absolutely. I think that is one more sneak roll.
No, luckily. Two more sixes.
Look at you. Look at you all at the 7-Eleven, opening the chill cabinet, lifting some Oscar Mayer. What's the nicest thing you get when you steal from this place?
The nicest?
Yeah.
Come on. In 1987, we all know that the boss thing that you can get from Oscar Mayer is the ham.
Yeah.
That's the high end.
Nice square rounded edges, marbled ham there. Oh yeah.
Yep. So yeah, if I'm rolling 2 6s, I'm not just getting the bologna. I'm grabbing some of that ham.
Oh yeah, you've got yourself set. And are you gonna, if you go back and feed Frank?
Or
are you
did
holding
Frank
off?
seem hungry?
It's sort of that same sort of lethargy that you left him with. You don't know. He is a growing boy.
Yeah. I mean, it's either that or go to the park and stand around and act like I'm smoking a cigarette so people think I'm tough. So, yeah, I guess I'll go try to feed Frank.
Okay. He will eat that food greedily.
Oh, you were hungry. Oh, I'm glad I went and got some food for you. I'll see if I can bring some more back tonight. Is he getting too big for the box?
He's getting a little bit bigger than the boxes. I mean, if he grows at this rate in the next couple of days, he's going to be too big for this box.
But he's lethargic. So he's not really moving around.
Not yet.
Okay. The lattice that's around the trailer.
Uh-huh. Thin wood, yep.
Yeah, I know it's not a serious structure of any sort.
Correct.
Would it be enough to kind of keep Frank contained if he wasn't in the box?
You know, you've seen how forceful Frank can be. If he wants to, he can bust through that lattice.
Probably not.
Yeah.
All right. But yet he's staying in the box. So, all right. So at least for the time being, he's either where he wants to be or where he feels comfortable, and I don't have to worry about that. He's fed. So, figuring by this point, it's like what, 3:30?
Probably a little bit later, but yeah. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's actually, if you don't mind, let's take our break here. And when we come back, let's maybe kind of hard frame everybody together.
Yeah.
And cross the streams, as it were. So let's take 5, and then we'll come back.
All right.
Hey, sorry about that total like zone out moment earlier.
No, I get that sometimes where I get an audio lag. I was actually in a meeting with Jason, and he kept roboting and like delaying, and I was like, okay, let me get my context clues. Try and figure out what he
Right.
just said.
Yeah. Like all I caught was, owl torn up, and I'm like, maybe. Let's have more context.
Kittens.
Kittens.
We adopted a kitten at the beginning of March. So he's actually laying in here under a blanket, kind of snoozing.
I suspect later this year we had one cat pass away, and eventually we will have to fill that spot with, because the other cat is like, I'm good. I don't miss the other cat, but it'd be good to have a second one. I'm so used to just having two.
We are worried about that because we have an older cat who's 10 or 11 years old now. And we'd had two cats, and the last one died a couple of years back. And my girlfriend started feeling like she was ready for another cat again. And we were kind of worried about how he was going to react. They cuddle.
Good.
And he grooms the little cat.
Oh, that's good.
So they fight, they roll around, they tussle, but they also play, and he grooms the cat. And it's like, wait a minute, you're grooming another cat?
That's great. All right. So let's bring the group together. Do you think that the four of you have if not the clubhouse, is there a spot that you four might meet up at? Like, at the bookstore or Okay.
Yeah, I was going to offer that up as a suggestion. I assume there's a back room of some kind, and like, at the very least, I had wanted to like peek at those new Target novels.
Oh yeah, there's the back room where your dad has to do all the stripping of the paperback covers, and then throw away the books and just send the covers back, and all the kind of back stock area. And there's probably lots of stuff set up for you to sit and read back there. So Sarah, Renee, when you come into the shop, Al's dad knows you, and we'll say Owl and his little friend Fig are in the back. If you want to go on back there.
Thank you, Mr. Brock. Absolutely.
Sarah, are you a big reader?
No, and I'm kind of feeling awkward because a lot of times adults look at me like I have two heads, or they start following me around figuring that I'm going to steal something because, well, a lot of times they're right.
At least
so
here,
being kind of welcomed it's kind of a weird feeling. So I'm kind of unsettled.
He assumes you're probably not going to take anything because you're his son's friend, and if you do, well, there must be a reason for it. So yeah, you'll go back, and Fig and Owl are in the back, camped out.
All right. So I mean, I'll go ahead and fill Razor and Renee in on the whole shebang that I got from Mary. But I'll also ask if they have any updates, and check on how Frank is doing.
Oh, Frank's bigger, and he likes ham.
You mean he's literally bigger?
Yeah.
He
grew. Well, he grew. He grew, and he really likes ham. He just like I mean, that tongue came out and that ham was gone.
So, is that like James and the Giant Peach, where he's just gonna keep getting bigger?
What's a James and the Giant Peach?
Oh, it's a book. My dad showed it to me the other day. It came out in the 60s.
Okay. Maybe I don't know.
The peach over time just keeps getting bigger until I think James makes a home inside of it. I'm not suggesting we make a home inside of Frank. That sounds like a bad idea.
Don't you dare. Frank is precious and he is a baby and I love him.
I'm not suggesting we do that. I'm just using an analogy to say he might just keep getting bigger, in which case we might have a really, really big baby on our hands. Or really your hands.
Well, I guess if that happens, maybe he goes to the zoo or something like that.
Fair.
I mean,
that's okay.
Yeah, I think those guys from the woods would probably find him if we put him in the zoo.
well, yeah, but he'd be like, at least people would be like watching him in the zoo, and he'd be like, probably safer there than under the trailer.
I agree with that. Why is it a bad idea at this point to tell the two guys from earlier about the frog? They seem to say it was dangerous, right?
They're creepy. I mean, they were weird and they were creepy. And I don't like weird and creepy.
And I assume, Renee, that you filled them in on what you found, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The car belonged to some lady that was fired from some lab. So maybe she'd go.
Maybe she knows something.
Lorna. But I did kind of. The officer said he might be going by, so we might want to do that quickly.
Did you get an address?
No, he wouldn't give me an address. But I got Lorna Spearing. I got the name.
Well, that's easy. We just look her up in the white
pages. Do you have a phone book or something here?
Yeah, we just go find a payphone.
Yeah, or actually, I'm gonna go to my dad and see if he's got like yellow pages or white pages or something.
Of course, he's got a phone book. It is the 1980s. He has but one phone book because there is only one phone book.
Great.
Not for long, but this is the last of the single phone book era.
Yellow pages in the front, white pages in the rear.
Okay, I'm gonna start flipping through then for that name. I'll go alphabetical by last name.
Yeah, and I think you can find an address for Lorna Spearing, doctor, and in just off from one of the subdivisions, like you guess maybe older houses nearby one of the subdivisions. It is within bikeable distance.
Oh man.
So do we want to go talk to her or sneak over there? Or?
I mean, maybe we all get out.
Frank.
Yeah, but maybe we do both. Maybe we bike over there as a group, but then we split off, and maybe some of us can see if there's something to find that she's not telling us, and then we can see what she is telling us. I don't know. Just a thought.
Well, Sarah's going to have to ride behind somebody because she doesn't have a bike.
Yeah, I mean, I got room on my bike. I don't mind nobody hopping on the back.
Fig, what kind of bike do you have? Do you have a 3-speed, a 10-speed? Do you have a BMX bike?
Yeah, I think
an old person's bike.
It's probably like a BMX bike, and I probably even have the little add-on, things on the back, so
pegs.
somebody can, the pegs, so somebody can stand back there.
Okay. Owl, what kind of bike do you have?
Oh man. I don't know a lot about bikes out of character, so I don't.
Sure. Is it a big fancy sort of your dad went and bought, a nice one at the bike shop, or is it a more went to Kmart, bought you a 3-speed, or are you into biking and they've got you kind of a sporty BMX off-road bike, or is it just a bike?
Well, I think it's probably like, a Kmart bike, or it used to be, because I think what I have is my dad's old bike.
Okay.
Of like this really and not like old in terms of like what he used to use now, but like what he had as a kid. Like for some reason he kept it, and so I've just kind of got like it functions.
It functions, and it weighs like 40 pounds. It's a solid bike.
Yeah, it's surprisingly a miracle that I haven't been losing that much weight, but that's puberty for you.
Okay. And what about you, Renee?
Probably a hand-me-down. What is it called? The Schwinn banana seat bike.
Oh, okay, a real classic. Yeah. Absolutely. And so the four of you can pedal your way over. You will head. We get a montage of you biking across town until you get over by Knollwood. And this is an area where they built the kind of the subdivisions that are a maze. No sidewalks, all mazes and cul-de-sacs. But there's some area, sort of former farmlandy and area and old neighborhoods that are by there that haven't kind of gotten swallowed up by that. And you will drive down, bike down one of those roads until you come to a gravel driveway. And it kind of it goes up, and there is a ranch style 1-floor house. It has a garage. You can see that out back there's like a barn. And it looks like there's stuff jammed in the mailbox.
Normally, I'd say it's rude to check another person's mail, but
is it like stuff with letters, or it look like something else was jammed in it?
Like you kind of pull open the thing, and there's junk mail and bills and legal notices and stuff, filling this thing up.
I'm looking around to see if there's any adults or if I can see anybody that's paying attention to us.
No, this particular house in this particular area is a little secluded. Like no one can see you here. Probably no one can hear you from the next area either.
Okay. Is there any sign that anybody's home?
You kind of look up the driveway. Don't see any lights on.
There's no car in the driveway?
No. The garage door's shut.
Can I see through the crack of the garage door on the side?
So that would tell me that you are walking up the driveway up to the house.
Well, while they're looking at the mailbox, somebody else needs to be kind of scouting around, seeing if there's anybody here.
So the three of you will see Razor start stomping up the drive towards the house.
Well, if she's going to take the direct route, that I should, and I'm just going to follow her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go along too. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Fig.
And I just kind of give this big shrug, like,
Yeah, because I ain't getting anything out of the mail, so I'm just going to follow up too.
And three, you will kind of trail behind Razor. Razor, you get up to the house. You kind of look at the sidewalk here, like there are leaves on it, hasn't been swept. You can see some cobwebs, like on the awning of the door there.
Do I notice anything obvious, like a padlock on the outside of the garage door, like where it's clearly secured from the outside or anything like that?
It's one of those garage doors that has a lock in the handle, and you unlock it and then kind of turn it and then lift it up.
Okay.
And you kind of tug on it, and it is locked.
Can I see if there's a car in there or anything like that? Are there any windows on the door?
I think you can kind of peer in, just that last little bit of sort of got that daylight kind of angle here. The trees around kind of block it, but you don't see a car in there.
All right. I'm going to circle around behind the house.
Let me check in then with the others while you're doing that garage peering. What are the three of you are doing as Sarah is investigating the garage?
I'm gonna go up onto the porch and see if you can like peek in through the window.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of just follow, but I'm gonna stand in front of the door just in case anyone like opens it suddenly. Okay. Clearly, I am just a small child, which I in fact am.
I think, Renee, you'll kind of peer in. It has the look of a place that's not particularly well lived in. Very basic furniture. Nothing that says home furnishings here. Won't see any movement around in there. Don't notice any people in there. No lights on, nothing like that.
I think it's empty.
Should I knock?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll knock.
Okay. And you'll pull up the knocker and you wait. Fig, what are you doing?
I think I'm heading around to the back of the house,
Okay.
Kind of along the opposite side of the garage.
Okay. So just as Sarah's finishing up, you've kind of started to move to the back. Kind of get back there. Not much of a backyard. Maybe a couple of plastic chairs out there and some weird like dead grass spots on the lawn there. Like maybe boxes or something were there for a while. And there's a little barn out back there.
Yeah, I mean, Fig's used to barns and farms and whatnot, so he'd go check out the barn.
And you'll get to the barn, and you will immediately notice the massive padlock on that barn. Sarah, you see Fig head over to that barn, and you see him see that padlock.
Well, that looks like something that's interesting. What kind of padlock is it? Is it a key padlock or is it a combination lock?
Probably a combination lock.
Okay.
Fig, do you know how to pop a lock? And do you want to?
Yes and yes. I think that makes sense. Because Fig always carries his multi-tool around, and I'm sure he's messed around with locks around the house.
So this is Tinker. And you get 2 extra dice for your multi-tool. So that is going to be 9 dice.
And is there any way that I can help him?
Yeah. If you do you have any Tinker?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, no, I think this is maybe a little bit out of your wheelhouse here.
Yeah, because she's got a 1 tech score.
Yeah. 1 tech and no tinker.
I got 3 6s.
So it is the work of but a moment for you to pop the lock on this thing. And you will be able to get that big lock and get that off of there, kind of pull that open, and you can open up the barn if you want.
Hey, Sarah, you think we should go in there? You want to follow me in here?
I mean, you just popped the lock. Why did you do that if we weren't going to go in?
Well, I mean, I just figured I'd ask. I mean, ladies first and all that.
Whatever. Let's get in there and see if we can find anything. I mean, this is weird.
Yeah, it don't seem normal, but yeah, okay. Let's go.
That's a big lock.
Well, after you.
Get that open. 2 of you will step inside. Meanwhile, at the front, no one answers the knock.
Okay.
Try the handle.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll try the handle. Oh my god. It's open. And I'm just gonna like turn to where I thought the other 2 were, and I'm just gonna like whisper shout.
They're gone.
Like, but I totally just like whisper shout like, guys, that don't. Okay, never mind. After you.
Okay.
I don't know.
This place looks empty anyways. So
Okay.
just
Let's just go. Yeah, let's just go in at the same time.
Okay. I'll go in.
Yeah.
2 wolves kind of step into this house. Creak of the floorboards. Old house. That dust motes and the light coming through the windows here. That smell of a house that's just been kind of left. Anything that's in here has just been kind of left to sit. And kind of begin to walk through. What are you 2 looking for?
Just look for anything that, I don't know, makes you think of Frank or science or something like that.
Let's have you, Owl,
Okay.
make an investigate roll, and
Yes.
I think Renee can assist you.
I would be happy for that. The investigate, I have 9 dice.
So with Renee's assist, that'll be 10 dice. There's almost no chance that you could fail now.
I love that you still say almost because it keeps me humble. It does keep me humble. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and do that and then that. Okay, so there's that, and then let's do that. All right, so 2 6s.
2 6s. So I'm going to give you the basic info,
Sure.
and then I'll let you ask a follow-up question.
Great.
So this looks like the house of someone, like a scientist, just judging by the journals and things that are around biological studies, as well as a lot of fringe stuff, like, weird stuff like 40 and Times magazine and, weird crystal theories and Chariot of the Gods, how the aliens made civilization and all of that kind of stuff is a weird mixture of things here. And it's also very clear, kind of looking around, like peeking in the bedroom, looking in the kitchen, that this is somebody who bugged out, got out like quickly. Drawers still left open, clothing, sort of hurriedly stuffed into suitcases, you guess, pieces kind of left behind.
Okay.
And there is a hidden door. Like, you kind of are looking and you'll see that there's a bookshelf that's oddly positioned. And when you kind of go over to look, you realize that it has been moved to cover a door down to the basement.
Okay. Okay. Is it all right if I hold on to my second question or my question for when we go to the basement? Because I want to check out what's behind that door.
Well, I'll let you have a separate investigation roll for that one.
Fine. I'll take that. So I guess then my question is,
should we get Fig and Razor first? Because
that's a great question. That's not my question, but I feel like that is.
Let me do Fig and Razor.
Okay, I'll think about it.
And let you think about that. So the two of you will come in here. One of the things that will strike you immediately is that somebody laid down like concrete slab for the barn. So that's kind of nice, rather than it just being sort of a dirt floor. And the windows are kind of pretty well sealed, and you can see that there is some equipment left behind here, like dehumidifier and like a climate control thing. And there are tables and empty cages and empty terrariums and things like that. And there's some broken stuff. Like, again, you two will probably get that same feeling that Owl got inside of somebody, took things out of here quickly. But you will probably also find like a couple of like desiccated animals, things left behind.
Anything interesting about the animals?
No, but there's definitely, they don't look unusual to you, but, there's definitely a couple of large frog skeletons here. Maybe what you think might have been an opossum, but it's kind of desiccated. It's a very weird kind of animal lab. But somebody's clearly stripped out pieces from it.
Well, this isn't weird.
Well, it's pretty weird. I don't keep no dead animals in our barn. Like, we got places for those, so I don't know why they put them in the barn. Well, I'm just saying. I know my barns, all right? This is a weird barn.
Yeah. I kind of think they might have had Frank here for a while.
You think some of these skeletons was like Frank's brothers and sisters?
I don't know. You see any chips around or anything like that? Like any of the stuff that we found on Frank?
Yeah, can I? Well, yeah. Do I see any weird gizmos or anything?
Let's do an investigate roll.
So I only have 2 dice for that.
Yeah. I'm at 5.
So let's have Sarah roll.
All right, and then is Fig going to be helping?
Fig has nothing in investigate. Much as you did not help with Tinker, Fig is
Gotcha.
not the best person for crime scene reading.
Yeah, if you find it, I can tell you what it does, probably, but I ain't gonna help you find it.
My leather jacket will be of absolutely no use here. And there's a 6.
So you will find at least one of these like sets of circuits, like little chips, and it looks like maybe there was a station for kind of working on these microchips, where bits and pieces are left behind. You can see some soldering metal drips there. There's one of those little magnifying light lamps. And yeah, you can take a look at that.
All right. Is Fig going to be able to tell what it is or be able to tell me anything about it?
I think that Fig could make a calculate roll.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So I've got 5 dice for that. And I got 1 6.
These are very clearly tracking chips. Like they were made for tracking, maybe some sensor data, like sensors and tracking is what you would guess these are. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let me cut back into the house.
I have my question.
Oh, let's hear it.
What is still here that seems odd it would have been left behind?
Kind of looking around. A lot of the like the tech stuff's gone, TV stuff's gone, that kind of thing. All that stuff has been taken. But you kind of notice some wires, and you kind of follow it back, and you think there might be an alarm on that door. Like they've left some tech behind. There might be something. If we open that door without doing it right, something might happen.
Okay. I will absolutely relay that information to Renee, with the added bit of we should probably all 4 be here if we're going to open this.
We should probably not go in there, as intriguing as it is.
Well, I mean, maybe one of us can mess around with the wires and stuff. I don't know.
Sure, because we have a lot of experience with breaking into security systems. Well, maybe Razor does.
Exactly!
You kind of look out the sliding glass back door, and you can see that Razor and Fig are kind of have you can see the barn doors open. They're probably now at the entrance to the barn.
Now I'm gonna do that whisper shout that I was trying to do earlier, and just go, guys, get in.
Fig, Razor, you kind of done your reconnoiter on the barn, kind of come back out, and you'll hear that, hey guys. And you see Owl waving you, hailing you from the back door of this house.
Yeah, I'll go and head up to the back door to meet up with him.
And the 4 of you can go into this house. That kind of stale smell in here. You're guessing there's probably some food or garbage in the waste bag in the kitchen that didn't get cleaned, and that's gone to seed. And yeah, there's a hidden door with an alarm of some kind leading down into what you guess is the basement.
Yeah, I'm gonna point out the alarm like very early on, so there's no chance that someone could be like just opening the door on their own.
Do the wires lead to anything that we can see, like a siren on the wall or lights or anything like that?
No, you're guessing that this is mostly like either a power line or a secondary line or something. It's hard to tell. You might be able to disable it.
So we can see wires, but we can't see what they're going to.
They go into the wall, and then they also go, down into the basement, like clearly to whatever device is connected there.
I mean, I could try and cut them, but I've seen enough of the movies. I don't know whether to cut the red wire, the green wire. I never know which wire they're supposed to cut.
We don't even see the wire cut. Fig, do me a favor. Can you look around and see if you can find like a crowbar or pry bar or something like that?
Yeah, I can try to take a look.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any problem to do that.
Renee, Al, you guys touch anything in here? Like put your fingerprints on anything?
Yeah. Yeah, we
All
were
right.
looking through these notebooks because they have all kinds of information. And sketches of animals.
Well, then
Oh yeah.
you guys, that shoots that plan down. I mean, because you guys aren't going to remember where all you put your fingers in your hands, are you?
Probably
Yeah.
not. No.
So I can't make it look like some kids busted in here and had a party and damaged the house and kind of beat things up a little bit because your fingerprints are going to be here and the cops are going to be coming to you for questions.
As well as Renee having had that conversation with a cop about this house a little earlier today.
So we got to do something a little bit different then, which means I can't use the pry bar on the wall to find out where the wires go because that's going to cause too much. That'll be noticeable.
Fig, you can put anything back together, right?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can.
Nobody's been here for a long time, so no reason to think anybody would. We could, as long as it's not visible from outside, nobody's gonna see.
We just have to make sure we don't set off the alarm.
Yeah,
And you got to make sure that your cop friend doesn't notice anything amiss when he shows up.
Yeah, like I said, not visible from outside, and we're all good. Right?
Fig, you
Going
want to
through
try?
the wall, though, I mean, that's...
Yeah, I think I can just flip it real quick. It won't be no big deal.
That
All right.
So let us have you roll with Tinker, and you may use your multi-tool.
All right, so that's 9
Can Al
dice.
help?
Owl, are you close enough to assist, or are you ready to run if something goes wrong?
I think I'm actually going to try sticking it out this time.
Okay. So yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
a 10th die. So Fig, almost no chance that you could fail.
Yeah, so I did get 1 6.
1 6. So I think you'll be able to disable whatever this is, but you're not sure what it is. Not sure what it was. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Kind of see you look, run your thing along there, kind of check that, and then the snip, and yeah, you think that alarm is disconnected.
Yeah, as soon as I snip it, just kind of hold there like silent for a couple of seconds, and like, well, no, I don't hear nothing, so I think it's clear.
I'm going to tentatively reach out and turn the handle on the door, assuming there's a handle.
Yeah. It's dark. There's a little light switch there. You can see just in the light that you've got here, the steps going down to the basement.
All right, don't turn on the light just yet. Let me start heading down there.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
I pull a switchblade out of my pocket.
Okay.
Open, and I start heading down into the darkness.
Sure. Can you make a move roll for me?
Happily. So that's body plus move.
Yeah. 7
dice. Let me guess. Almost no chance I could fail.
Almost no chance you could fail. 7 dice. That's really good. I mean, that's decent.
1 6.
1 6. So you will get away, and the thing that you kind of do is that there is some stuff here, like junk and stuff on these steps, like hoarder kind of stuff, and you kind of catch yourself so you don't trip, and you can make your way down. It's pitch, absolute no light, dark down here.
Okay.
Are you telling me to turn this light on or no?
Yeah, I whisper upstairs. Hit it.
I'll hit it.
Okay. And you will turn that on and kind of look down in here. The steps go down to kind of turn, and you'll see a white painted wall, finished basement, no windows. You can see that like lots of stuff has clearly been taken from here. Like, when they bugged out of the house, they took stuff from here. You'll also see there's a lot of boxes and equipment and things that at a glance you see the Zabo Labs label on. It has the look of somebody who was clearly pilfering from work, probably for an extensive amount of time. And you will see that there is a big whiteboard on the wall. And somebody's done that thing where they've kind of quickly erased it, but whatever was on it like had kind of bled in to that. So you still got that kind of after image on there. And there's about 30 sticks of dynamite connected to some wires down here.
Guys.
What?
You probably don't want to come down here. We should probably just get out of here really carefully and quickly.
You kind of look, you kind of follow the wires back up and kind of look, and you think that's probably the wire that Phineas clipped.
Yeah. We need to, go.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, you don't need to say it twice.
I can't leave yet. They might have information about Frank.
Renee, I'm looking at a bunch of dynamite down here. So if there could be information here, but I don't know about you, but I'm very much in the pro not getting blown up camp. So my vote is we get out of here.
Yeah, you didn't say dynamite.
I mean, I think
I didn't want to scare you guys.
I probably clipped the right wire. It probably won't blow up.
Well,
Yep.
considering it looks like it was wired to the door, yeah, you did clip the right wire because we're still here and we're not like little bits of us floating around and like the house is still standing. But I mean, we don't know how long this stuff has been sitting here. I mean, doesn't dynamite get more dangerous as it sits around?
For a very long time, if it sits for a very long time. What do you want to do? Do you want to head up back the stairs? You guys want to go back, go down and carefully check around? What do you think? Sarah?
This is way beyond any of the petty larceny mischief type stuff she's gotten involved with. Like, you know, she's got a knife, but only because she stole it from a kid she saw at a punk show. You know, this is way above her experience level. So, you know, shoplifting, yeah, that's her thing. Knowing how to make it look a B&E look like it's sort of something else. She heard a thing or two about it. This dynamite, hell no.
So you are back up the stairs. What about the other three? What are you thinking, Renee?
If Fig, if you think you disabled it, I think we should look, because we gotta find out. We gotta find out if Al's gonna be okay, and we gotta find out where Frank is from.
I agree. Yeah, we got to figure this out. And yeah, we got to do it for Al. Got to make sure his hand's going to be okay. He needs some hands.
And of course, I'm sure Al will be fine, but just in case.
All right. You guys go do that. I'm going to be outside away from the house, and I'll watch to see if anybody's coming and try to give you guys a warning.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm just going to head on down here. Sarah, I'm not scared at all, so it's going to be fine. And, I'm just going to go down there and look around.
And I'll go down with Fig.
Al, Sarah heads out. Those two go down to the basement. And you?
I'm going to sit at the top of the stairs. I feel like I don't want to wait out. Yeah, I don't want to wait outside, but also these two just made some nice comments about wanting to save my hand. And I think that was nice. So yeah, I'm stuck between a rock and a bigger rock.
Okay. So the two of you can go down into this basement, and Renee, why don't you make an investigate roll for me? You are muted.
I got 1-6.
1-6. So you don't blow yourselves up. And you do look around. And I think that you're kind of looking at sort of not the technical stuff that's here, but the like papers or anything. And you'll kind of look at the whiteboard, and it'll take you a second to kind of go, oh, you know what? I think this is actually a map that they drew here. Like, this looks like the edge of the lake, and this looks like maybe that area that's at the north edge of Tambo Forest where it gets up by the lake. And there's some weird lines and cross-referencings, and it clearly marks a spot there in the woods just by the edge of the lake that you know is kind of wetlands. People don't usually go there because it's a really crappy area.
So
you'd be
there
able
was
to-
something interesting here. Because I got the school and the yeah.
Yeah, but that's all the way out in Nowheresville. Like, what the heck they be doing out there?
Well, if you're doing crazy science stuff, where better than middle of nowhere?
Well, I don't know. If I was putting a bunch of dynamite somewhere, I wouldn't put it in someone's basement. So
That's also a fair judgment.
And-
So
Go on.
go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Fig. Fig, what are you doing down here? Are you looking at the equipment? Are you just watching to make sure the dynamite's not going to blow up? How are you assisting here?
yeah, I think I'm keeping an eye on the dynamite and kind of trying to look through some of the equipment just to see if any of it, like, if I can even begin to understand any of it or what its purpose is.
Here's the weird thing. You know that upstairs you've seen all this biological stuff here? But the stuff that you're seeing here are like spectrometers and background radiation detectors and weird like physics-based stuff. Like not biological stuff, but something else.
Does anything there look like what the guys had in the forest?
Yeah, I think you can probably guess that this thing that you saw in the forest, you will kind of recognize that I described it as kind of being cobbled together, probably cobbled together from pieces and parts of these things.
If those guys had some of this, maybe we could try to take some of it, see if it's any use to us.
Yeah, we can test it out on Frank and see if we get any signal from it or anything.
So you want to kind of put together a duffel bag of junk?
Yeah, just kind of grabbing stuff that looks like it would go together to fit the memory of what we saw in the forest.
Perfect. I think that it'll be easy enough for you to get that. That'll give you fictional justification for a tinker attempt later. And then I assume you get out of the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sarah, where are you out front of the house?
Yep.
Yeah, you see a cop car pulling up.
Guys, come on. Gotta go.
And you see it stops at the base of the driveway, and you'll see this officer get out, and he kind of goes over, and much as you did, he's taking a look at the mailbox, like, what's going on with this? And you'll hear Sarah go, "Right, guys, we gotta go."
Okay, and I'm gonna kind of go, guys, now, up, go! Police! Maybe. She didn't say that, sorry.
So
Everybody out the back.
Yeah, and run up the stairs, grab a couple more things into the duffel bag.
Yeah.
you haul up, and
Let's
try and put everything back in place, or are you just getting out of here?
get out.
Yeah,
I'm at least
getting out.
I'm at least closing the door, but that's it.
Okay, yeah, because otherwise you have to shove that bookcase back into place, and they got the back glass sliding door.
Yeah, call Razor to come back into the house and
Razor, how are you playing this?
Oh, I'm already back inside the house. I've got the front door shut and locked.
Okay, front door shut and locked. Kind of run through the house, get to that back glass door. They're out back. I'm going to guess that your bikes are still out front.
We're planning on all of our parts.
So what do you want to do?
just run. We can come back for the bikes.
Renee, does your cop friend know me?
know you? I don't think so. I don't ask every cop I meet if they've, had to pick you up at one time or not.
Take this. And I start pulling everything out of my pockets that would actually, get me in trouble with a cop, like, the knife and
switchblade. Yeah.
It's like, take this. Don't get rid of it. Just, I'm going to try to draw the cop away so he doesn't see the bikes. Grab a few. I'm assuming there's going to be rocks around on the ground.
Oh yeah. There's gravel. There's the rocks. There's a gravel driveway. All of that.
Yeah, I'm not looking at dry gravel. I'm looking at a rock that's semi-decently sized.
Absolutely, yeah. You get a nice baseball-sized rock.
I mean, that's going to be probably more damage than I want to do. I just want to get his attention, not piss him off.
Okay.
So I grab a few rocks, take off running, and because at this point we're talking like what? It's dusk, dark.
Uh-huh.
All right, so visibility is lower.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take off around the corner of the house, get some distance, and chuck a rock at the cop car.
Okay. So I think that the main intent is for you to do that, draw his attention, and then try to kind of lead him away.
It draws attention, lead them away. I figure I can outrun them in the houses in the forest. They can get the bikes and they can get the hell out of there with none of us noticing, with the cop never noticing anybody was there.
Perfect. So I think no roll to hit the car with the thing. I think it's merely the move roll to get the heck out of Dodge.
All right, so 7 dice again.
Yeah.
There's a 6.
There's a 6. So that
the very last one
cracks against the glass, doesn't break it, but makes a hell of a pang when it smacks against it. And you guys hear that from the back as Sarah goes out there. And probably around the corner, you can see her whip that rock. The cop car, probably a second one. And Renee, you'll see Lenny, hey, stop. And he puts his hand on his gun holster and he's not drawing or anything, but he's chasing after Renee as Renee books it through the bushes, breaking through that line to the next yard. And Lenny is hell bent for leather, trying to chase her down, but she's got a head start. She's strong and fast, and it's getting dark. Do the three of you go and grab your bikes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I do not say it all, but that's my thought. It's not a good thing to shout.
So it's a matter of you guys. You've got filthy loot. You've got this bag. You taking off down the driveway. Even as Razor takes off and gets Lenny out of here, and three of you can make it out of there free and clear. And I think that's where we need to stop for tonight. With Renee having successfully drawn the cops off, with you having found gear stuff and having learned some things about this Lorna Spearing. Still don't know who her assistants are, but you've got a location. You've got some clues. There's some other things out there, and that's what we'll take up next time. I would like to hand out XP. So experience points, 88. So everybody gets 1 XP for participating in the session. And then the next thing, did you get in trouble because of your problem or any of your relationships? Do you think that those caused you problems? What do you think, Renee?
Not based off my problem, but anything for because of my anchor's the comic shop owner, so could I tie it to the trouble with the officer?
Yeah, I think you kind of Lenny, who there, that might be a problem in the future. So I'll give you a point for that. What about you, Owl?
So the man from earlier, as far as I know, did not follow me. I don't know how far I can stretch that. My relationships have put me in this very precarious place of, hey, we, basically barged into a house, but I don't know if that counts.
You're the one who also, don't you have the, was it you that had the janitor disappearing as your relationship connection?
No, I don't think. Oh, wait. Yes, it was.
Okay, so let's give you a point for that.
Cool.
And then what about you, Hick, Phineas, Fig?
I don't think I really have anything. I mean, I don't have anything for my problem, and nothing on my anchor. Yeah, I can't really think of anything that I hit.
Not
there.
yet. If you get back late to your parent, that may be a problem there.
Yeah, actually, that could be a problem if Dad. That's kind of a mystery. Is how is Dad doing? Somewhat better.
I'll give you a point for that. I like we engaged with it. What about you, Sarah?
Well, I'm getting chased by a cop because Renee dragged him into it. So it seems like relationship XP.
Give you a point for that. Did you use or struggle with your pride? What, Renee? Don't think we hit that today.
Yeah, no.
Owl? You muted.
I don't think so. There. Yeah, I don't think that came up.
Phineas, I'm going to give you a point because I pushed you on that to make you try to work those wires.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
And Sarah, I'm going to give you a point for that because I think you were willing to take on the cops.
Well, and then there were tangential references, so
yeah. So we'll give you a point for that. Did you put yourself at risk for the other kids, Renee?
Yeah. Went down in the basement.
That'll give you a point for. Owl?
I mean, I think for Owl, it's as much going into that house even at all.
Yes. You're the one who broke into an adult's house.
It's going to haunt me for years.
Yes. Fig?
I think definitely, clipping those wires, undoing that lock, breaking that barn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give you a
I think
point.
a lot for me.
And then absolutely for Sarah. The last thing is, did you learn something new? And I think across the board, we can say that each of you gets an XP for that. So if you're at 5 XP or more, 5 XP will get you 1 skill point. You can buy a skill you have 0 in. You can buy that up to 1, or you can raise any of your skills up by 1 point.
And then we can decide that next time as well.
We can start that next time. Because we have that bump. I don't want to do stars and wishes today. We'll do that the final session. We'll kind of walk through that. But I will check in at the beginning of next session to make sure that if there are particular scenes, home life, or interactions with other characters you definitely want to get, that we get those next time. Does that sound okay?
Fine by me.
Great. And if you have any questions between now and then, hit me up on that, and we'll go on there, and we will solve the mystery of Frank next session. So,
all right.
Awesome. I'm going to stop the broadcast.